Like, dude, you're an idiot.
I'm doing very well, Jen. Is it just going to be me and you, or Eli and Zach going to pop in?
Yeah, they'll talk every once in a while. But
Every now and then we'll kind of
he was already here right away.
It kind of, well, we're used to you attacking us, so.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Look at
Let's just put it this way. Who do you see as the quarterback week 1 for the Green Bay Packers?
I see.
Welcome, everybody. This is a very special edition of Open Book here in Game On, Wisconsin, because the Packers just beat the Buccaneers.
I was like, is something happening that I don't know about?
Yeah, I was going to surprise you, but no. Well, we had, quite the stressful Sunday, but came out on top over Tom Brady and the Bucs, and that is always time to celebrate. But Jen, yeah, nice to see you. Obviously, our third partner in crime, Zach, does not seem to be here. He is traveling right now. We are also missing Andrew, our great producer. So bear with us if there are any difficulties, but we'll see what we can do. But Jen, I know you had a great week, so why don't you break that down real quick?
No, it's been a rough week. Surprise! I mean, coming off of a big win. Rough week at work, but luckily I have this show to come to and get my mind off of the real world for a little bit. We just get to talk about football, and the chat talks about salads, and life is good. So
yeah, we're gonna have to get to that, because for about 10 minutes, actually 25 minutes before the show started, Sam began
25 minutes.
Yeah, Sam, so we appreciate
Damn.
it. So first, that was the first hello. And then we went to, who came up with salad? That's a good question. No one knows. It was like, you like veggies? Here's a bunch of them. Some dried bread.
I mean, it's a realistic question. I guess Sam, having a conversation with himself 25 minutes before the show.
Yeah.
These are truly the things that you come to Open Book to discuss, not
Salad.
football, not us, salads, which I doubt Eli ever eats salads, so he would not.
I happen to be a fan of salads. I actually enjoy my vegetables, but
Are you like mix the spinach with the lettuce, or like I'm an iceberg lettuce and spinach mix with croutons and cucumbers and blue cheese. And
I don't trust lettuce. I don't trust like leaves, like the green.
Okay, what kind of salad are you eating?
Lettuce would be the base, but like I'm more interested in the cucumbers, tomatoes, avocados, potentially some pickle action. I pound pickles.
You put pickles in a salad?
Oh, I put pickles in a salad. I'll throw pickles in anything, but I feel like we've reached our salad talk for this episode, which is a shame because I do love talking salad. But we don't have Zach to go to now and ask how he's doing, as if, we actually care. So let's talk about it. 14.
You're just mad because Zach kicked your butt in fantasy. But you're kind of happy that he's not here to rub it in your face. But
Congratulations. Enjoy the win.
Everybody just needs to know that between the three hosts, it goes me, Zach, Eli in the league rankings. We're like in the middle. We're in the middle, but that's still the order of the three of us.
I believe last year I was in 10th place around mid-season before I decided to, as my team name says. Start winning, please. And then I never stopped winning. So I'm not worried about coming back and taking back-to-back championships. But yeah, so Open Book Fantasy Football, it's been a great season so far. I believe in first place right now,
it should be Mark.
Yeah, I believe it is Mark. Yeah, it's Mark. Yep. So Mark, good for you being in first.
Now, I think.
Okay, well, it's a little bit selfish. You could have thrown me a couple of those, but that's our Open Book Fantasy update. Zach, you beat me. I'm very proud of you. You'll miss the playoffs. I will. We'll see what happens. So, Jen, take us through your initial reactions. Let's go just post game, because I mean we'll get into the game, but like right after that game, the 2-point conversion, onside kick. What were your feelings? Where were your nerves at? What was going on?
Once, clock runs out because I forgot about the whole onside thing. So I was like excited, and then all of a sudden all my stress came back. But luckily, Lazard, my hero, I just kind of like sat back, and it was kind of an emotional win just because this is a team that's had our number for so long, and it was stressful and it was gritty, and that first half felt, so good, like we're going to come out here and we're just going to conquer. And then we stopped conquering, and it was like everything was just like I was so tense, and then I finally felt like I could just relax, and I legitimately wanted to cry. And it sounds super lame, but I was just so happy to finally be able to say, like, this team went down to Florida. They got the win against Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, who, I mean, we said this last week, weren't a team that no matter how depleted they were going to give us a game, and you can't count them out, blah, 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 all that stuff. So it was just like all the stress came down on me, like it off my shoulders. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I just want to sit here and just appreciate this win, because also going into the season, I didn't expect this to be a win. And then last week, because of injuries and stuff, I felt like we had a better chance. And, obviously there was a lot of factors on both sides that made it really interesting. But yeah, it was ugly, but an ugly win still counts in the win column. And it felt good to kind of exercise those demons. And, if we have to meet up with them later in the season, you feel a little bit more confident now that you kind of know and understand what this matchup looks like. And then, we'll kind of play from there. But yeah, it felt really good, 2-1 versus 1-2, obviously huge, especially since like the division is pretty tight right now. So yeah, I mean, not a pretty win, but I felt just super relieved and kind of emotional after that one, which is weird for like a week 3 game, but it felt that good.
Yeah, no. When you go down into Tampa, you beat Tom Brady and the Bucs again. Everyone in the media yes, Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are on different levels than Sammy Watkins and Christian Watson. I'm not going to try to compare them, but both teams were depleted at receiver, and Packers came out on top, and they looked. I mean, those first two drives, they looked actually the first 3 looked unstoppable, and then really it was just that fumble, and then things kind of started to change. And the same thing happened last week versus the Bears, where there was that weird where it was the fumble on, I think Rodgers got sacked, fumbled, but it was dominant, one hiccup, and then like everything just seems to stop. And I don't know if it's a coaching thing, I don't know if it's a player confidence thing, but it's becoming a trend now. I mean, think about the 49ers game in the playoffs. We're playing great. We have the ball. We're driving. Mercedes has an uncharacteristic fumble. The whole game changed right off that fumble. So there's something about this team that whether it's Rodgers throws a pick, which is super rare, or someone fumbles, or it really seems to get in their way and just stop their momentum. And that's something that, if you want to go and contend for a Super Bowl, you're gonna have that happen. You can't collapse at the first sight of adversity.
Well, and it was weird because after the Jones fumble on that drive, Packers were able to also cause a turnover and get the ball back. So I thought that was going to be, okay, the momentum didn't have a chance to swing enough or last long enough where it's like we got it right back, and then even though the defense was creating those turnovers and, creating plays like that, the offense just never picked up on that momentum.
Yeah.
And I feel like we've talked about this before, so I feel like I'm kind of a broken record, but it's, the whole getting back into it, who's going to be the guy that steps up and gets them re-energized. And I mean, it was kind of just a fluky thing from Aaron Jones. So, when it happens that early in a game, you can't let it carry out the whole second half of that game. And you and I think both mentioned last week, whether it was on here or on Pack-A-Day, just talking about they needed to play all 4 quarters, and things got really sloppy. They just weren't playing up to par, and the offense was struggling. And I mean, it didn't like there was really no excuse for them to struggle. I know Tampa Bay has a good defense and all that stuff, but we had what we needed on offense to make it work, and they just weren't, and that was getting really frustrating. And Loki, obviously, very upset. You can probably hear him in the background.
Yeah, well,
Very
don't worry.
disappointed in the offense.
Loki needs to make his appearances, but no, but what you're saying
That's
is
a taste of fame. He used to leave me alone, and now he sits at my door and scratches because now he knows what the people want.
Yeah, exactly. He's a people pleaser, and we appreciate him for that. But like you said, there was no reason for them to struggle the way they did. Their first two drives, 10 plays, 12 plays, 75 yards, 71 yards, both ending in touchdowns. After those two drives, the rest of the game, fumble, of course, the Aaron Jones fumble, and then everything just flips. Punt, 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 interception, punt, 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 end of game. So
you wonder why Pat O'Donnell was the special teams player of the week because I mean he did a phenomenal job. Like we can take away a positive special teams week. We literally have Pat O'Donnell repping the special teams. So that's when things aren't working, it's nice that we could actually rely on them to do their job, and that was awesome to see. So Pat O'Donnell, huge asset to this team.
Yeah, O'Donnell. I mean, not to. I forgot what it's called because I never do it, but like when someone like plugs themselves, I guess so you would say. But basically, because Pat O'Donnell was so good on Sunday, I decided to go back and watch every single punt the Packers have had this season to look at O'Donnell and the Gunners, and it's honestly just been phenomenal. Pat O'Donnell has been one of the best punters in the NFL, as he basically always is. I mean, why the Bears would have let him leave.
I don't even remember where he came from. He just kind of like showed up one day and
just kind of happened.
Friends with Nathan Crosby, and that was that.
Yeah, but I mean, right now we're 3 games in. He has 9 punts inside the 20, which is second in the league. He kicked a 72-yard punt versus the Bucks this past week. That's insane. He scores 6 fair catches, which is tied for third most in the league, and his average punt yardage is 49.2, which is 8th in the NFL. He has just been really, really good. And then you got Rudy Ford and Keyshawn Nixon, Rasul Douglas, Shamar Jean-Charles, all playing out there at Gunners, and they've been really good. Maybe a missed tackle or two throughout 3 games, but I feel like, well, look, I mean, you're always going to hold your breath, Packers special teams, at least for a little bit.
We can't get too excited, but we at least can celebrate for now.
Yeah, but I definitely can breathe a little bit easier for sure than last year. And just before I forget, while we're on the topic of Keyshawn Nixon, so Jair Alexander left the game on the first drive, groin injury. Obviously, that is not what you want to see. But Matt LaFleur, I believe, said today, or was it yesterday? I think it was today, though. Doesn't seem to be serious day to day. Maybe he'll miss this Sunday's game, but I don't see it being a long-term injury. But in his stead was Keyshawn Nixon, who came into the game and was lights out for the Packers. Number one, I want to talk about when we were talking about him being a gunner, he was the one who caught the ball at the 1-yard line on that punt from Pat O'Donnell, which was obviously a great play, but he was that sound, I wasn't on the screen, so I just heard that sound.
You just hear me like, yeah.
I was like, okay, something happened. But he was also third on the team in tackles with 7. He forced that fumble. The second fumble, the one on Russell Gage right before half. He played great coverage on a ball deep down the seam into the end zone late in the fourth quarter. So Keyshawn Nixon, we brought him over from Oakland thinking this guy is a special teamer with Rich Bisaccia, but he's showing his strength as a cornerback, and that's really good for the Packers right now. But, of course, we hope Jair's back sooner than later. Mm-hmm. Jen, what did you think of the special teams or anyone else that stuck out to you from this game that was maybe under the radar?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's under the radar, but we definitely have to shout out David Bakhtiari in his return. Obviously there was kind of like that little bit of hinting towards him playing with the offensive linemen wearing the T-shirts and all that stuff. So It was kind of assumed that he was going to be playing, but to actually be able to see him go out there and be on the line and actually play really well, because I was kind of nervous. It's been like almost 2 years since he's played.
633 days.
Yeah, it was a ridiculous amount of time, and I actually didn't care too much about how he did. I was just excited for him to be out there, because you just think about the whole mental side of it too, and obviously it took a physical toll and physical journey for him to get here, but to be able to just meet up with it mentally, and now he's on the field and he actually performed really well, and he kind of obviously probably a little rough spots here and there, but he graded really, really well too. So to be able to get him back performing well, and then you also have Elton Jenkins on the right side. Against this front seven, I was a little worried, but definitely nice to see him out there, and it excites me for the rest of the season. Hopefully his stamina lasts and he's able to continue to push through and kind of get back to the David Bakhtiari that we all know and love. So I think it was just awesome to see him come in there and hold his own after being out for as long as he was, finally kind of get to the finish line of this ACL surgery that he had. So, not an under the radar guy, but definitely somebody that we needed to sit here and talk about a little bit.
Yeah, that was honestly my bad to forget about him, as we should be almost 17 minutes into the show without it talking about David Bakhtiari's return.
There were just so many positives from such an ugly game.
Exactly. But he rotated drives with Yash, which I don't know if we expected or didn't, but it worked out. He allowed only one pressure the entire game. I believe he played 34 snaps. Another little bit of a self-plug, a rare plug for myself. But if you want to see every single one of Bakhtiari's snaps from week one, you could find it on my Twitter page at @BookofEli_NFL. But yeah, seeing Bakhtiari back, I said it before week one, not only would it be huge for the team, as in you're getting one of the best players for sure, linemen in the NFL back, but mentally for Bakhtiari and for the team to finally just get over this hump of, is he ever going to come back every week? Questionable, maybe, we don't know. We're seeing surgery, rehab, surgery. He comes back, he plays well. And also you got to think right now for Aaron Rodgers, he's dropping back, and you've got David Bakhtiari and Elton Jenkins as your tackles.
Look at Chris's
I know. Yeah, I hear you. It's a rare plug. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I said that. And I only realize now that I said what I
was
said.
kind of maybe I'll let it go because maybe I misheard, but
No, okay, that's good, Chris. That's good. But think about just the comfort level that Rodgers has dropping back. Bakhtiari, Elton, those are your tackles.
It's a mental game too, because Bakhtiari, obviously Rodgers, him and Randall Cobb, both Rodgers' best friends, so it's different to have him out there on the field. I'm sure it just, kind of feel, the emotional, mental side for him too. It's not only is he getting a good, pass blocker, he's also getting a good, his friend is out there and he can trust him, and, it just set a different vibe. I kind of thought, maybe we'd get this, 300-yard game from Rodgers, my best friend's back, he's on the line, I got all this time, shit's gonna happen. Obviously we didn't see that, but just the comfortability. But
yeah, the first quarter we thought maybe we were gonna get that. But
I was prepared for just ultimate revenge and just pile on everything from the last few meetings. But
it would have been so nice. I was saying before the game, just what I would have given to just not just to win. Of course, look, I'll take a 14-12 win over the Bucs, but if they would have played the way they played the first quarter for even 3 of those quarters and the game ended 38-17, I probably would have been running down Lakeshore Drive naked on Sunday night. It was a big win. The Packers, I don't care about Mike Evans or Chris Godwin. The Packers mentally needed to know that they
we lost Jair, so realistically.
Yeah, we lost Jair. We were
all depleted.
Two of our receivers. Look, injuries happen. It's football. But for them to not only beat the Bucs, but go into Tampa and beat the Bucs, major mental boost for the Packers.
Look what you've done.
I know. Yeah, I would give up so many rear plugs for that win. But
Oh my gosh.
final thoughts on this game, Jen. Who would you say, I guess, is your MVP, or I don't know, a player, someone that surprised you the most out of this game?
MVP Davondray Campbell, because I think I probably would have died of like heart attack had he not blocked, which also kind of give a low-key shout out to Darnell Savage, who he's been on my hot seat for a while now. So to kind of know that he was there to make that play and he had a pretty good game. So if Campbell wouldn't have tipped that, Savage was right there. I was like, that was cool to see. But Darnell's Davondray Campbell, him coming in, making that play, like I thought my watch was gonna, can sense my heartbeat. I thought it was gonna call 911 because I literally, like, my heart couldn't take it. I was so stressed in those like final minutes of the game.
Yeah.
That to see that tip, it was like literally saved my life because I don't know what, and luckily it tipped the right way because we've seen good defense. I don't remember who it was a few years ago in the end zone, broke up a pass and tipped it right to the receiver and he got the touch. You know what I'm talking about?
The Packers or the NFL?
Yeah. The Packers. I can't remember who it was, if it was like Demarius Randall or no.
Oh no, I think it was
like it wasn't Clinton Dix.
It was a safety that
I know I can't think if it was who it was, but basically made a great play, tipped the ball, and it went to the receiver's hands. So
special surprise. I keep moving him.
Okay, let me add myself.
Zachariah, East Coast boy. What's going on, bros?
Yeah, I'm just here by myself.
Cool.
Zach was like, "Oh, I hear Eli's talking about rear plugs. Let me hop in on that."
Yeah,
what was he talking about?
I was talking about a rear plug. I rarely plug myself.
Eli said he's trying to say like a rare plug, but it didn't come out as rare.
Eli, we don't want to hear about your butt plugs, okay?
I'm just saying it's rare. My plugs are rare.
You've obviously missed a lot.
Clearly, it took 20
This is what happens when you leave me alone with him. This is what I get stuck with.
I didn't say it. Ben said it in the chat. I wasn't even thinking it.
Okay, that I believe.
Yeah, thank you. Because I really, when I said it, it totally didn't cross my mind. But now that I have, it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, and now Chris is mentioning it in our sleeper chat, so thank you for that.
And now I'm sure someone's team name will be the Rear Pluggers or something.
So that's why I saw that message about you enjoying butt plugs. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Right.
Welcome to the shit show.
Yeah.
All right.
So, Zach, we're actually just about to move on to the Patriots game, but we have to hear your quick initial thoughts on a thrilling Packers 14-12 win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Well, they looked like shit in the second half. I mean, we can't deny that. But the thing is, Todd Bowles knows Aaron Rodgers, and he obviously knows how to attack Aaron Rodgers' weaknesses, and we saw that. They made adjustments in the second half, and they kind of reverted back to that same Buccaneers defense that we saw in 2020 both times, and that was really hard to play against. The thing is, the Packers have a defense now, so they're kind of able to pick up the slack for when the offense isn't able to kind of get going, which is going to happen a lot this year. Like we need to accept that right now. There's going to be the games like we saw against the Bears where they kind of consistently get into a little bit of a flow and then they hit that standstill. But this is something that's just going to happen throughout the course of the season. It's inevitable, with all these moving parts. The offensive line is getting back to form, and you have, unfamiliar faces at wide receiver and a very inconsistent rookie. Granted, Romeo Doubs has, played really well so far, given the normal expectations for a rookie in year one. But
he's a Hall of Famer. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. All right. He's already, it's going to happen, and you're going to have games like that. The thing is, like when you can win those gritty, physical games, then that says a lot about this football team and the way they're constructed right now. And that's
Sorry,
Huh?
I didn't cut you off. I just was going to say they would usually lose those games. I mean, Mike McCarthy, Packer teams lost those games all the time.
Yeah, when Aaron Rodgers looks like shit, the entire team looks like shit. But it's just they're in a different state of the team, I should say. They're built to win defensively, and it helps when special teams actually looks competent. They broke even on special teams. They look good. Pat O'Donnell is the NFC Special Teams Player of the Week. I mean, that's rare, So they're looking great in pretty much those two phases. But the offense is going to take a little while to get going, and we saw that against the Buccaneers. Just very, very. It's going to be like an ebb and flow type of deal.
It's exciting to think that maybe for the first time in 10 plus years, the defensive special teams maybe could be an afterthought, and let's just get Aaron Rodgers rolling, which we know he will. And then this team can get real scary. And starting with, look, they beat the Bears pretty well. They just beat the Bucks. Now it's on to the Patriots, and elephant in the room, I would be very, very shocked if Mac Jones were to play in this game.
Brian Hoyer game.
Yeah, by the way, I've never liked going into a game against a backup that you weren't expecting, because I like having film, for the coaches to have film on the guy they're playing. But Brian Hoyer, been around forever. I'm just going to say it right now, and we'll talk about the game, but there's absolutely, they should not lose this game. And not only should they not lose this game, they should win this game pretty handily. I know it's Bill Belichick, but the Patriots are not, they're not scary offensively, and their defense is middle of the road at best. Zach, what do you think going into this one?
Well, I mean, you kind of said it about Bill Belichick. I mean, regardless, he's still one of, if not the best coach to ever coach this football game. So he knows how to really mix up. He's a really defensive-minded head coach. I know people look at the Patriots and go, oh, well, they had Tom Brady. They had, great offenses through the years, but he's a really defensive-minded head coach, and he knows, how to disguise some of the pressures, how to mix up some of the packages where they deploy pressure. He's a very, very hard coach to go against, regardless of who's going to be at quarterback. And you also alluded to Brian Hoyer's experience. He's been in the league for a very long time. He's seen a lot of things, and it could be a little close of a game. And I know it's at Lambeau. I'm not buying the whole, oh, well, Mac Jones could remarkably recover and play in time. I mean, that's just classic Patriots propaganda. Yeah, oh, we're gonna keep the Packers on their toes and hang him in the balance here. Maybe
we saw the injury. It's not happening.
Yeah, the guy was literally crying as he walked. Not to make fun of him, but he's not playing. So yeah.
Yeah, there's no way. And
which is actually a bummer, because I like Mac Jones. I was excited for that game, but
yeah, he's okay.
He's a person.
I like watching him play. I don't know. I was excited for him to come in and play at Lambeau, but now we get Brian Hoyer, and that's kind of like, meh.
I like Brian Hoyer because he's Brian Hoyer, and I want to win.
Isn't he bald?
Oh, you bastard! No,
it's probably some secret club that they're a part of together.
Hold on, let me.
By the way,
I'm like 90%. He is. He's bald.
I know he's bald, but he has a little bit. He has a little bit of a buzz.
No, he doesn't. I'm looking at pictures of him right now. He's literally bald. He's just like you.
Are you saying unlike you, he's bald by choice?
What more should I do? Should I shave it all off and then let it grow back, and you'll have to see it happen?
Do it.
Like a chia pet. Just.
By the way, I went from saying I'm going to grow it out for 2 years to really tempted to buzzing it all off. But what if I look like an asshole? That's the problem.
Well, I mean, we'll figure that regardless.
Good point. All right, so I'm going to do it. All right, so you're saying, Brian Hoyer's experience, that is a good point to bring up, because even though he might not be the most talented quarterback in the world, when you're in the league for at least, I would say, probably 12 years, if not more, you know how to read it. You can read a defense. You can make some plays. He's been in some games, or he's had to make plays in big moments before. So I hope the Packers aren't overlooking it in any way. It's still Bill Belichick. It's still the Patriots. But I do believe the Packers should win this game. And as I said before, win it by at least 2 scores. Jen, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting kind of seeing, just kind of looking at injury report. Obviously a lot of guys limited today. Not really sure what's going on with Jair. Will we have him back or not? I mean, they were able to hold their own against the Buccaneers. So, I mean, realistically, as long as they don't play down to, Brian Hoyer level, if they can just kind of play their kind of game at home, use the home field advantage, just play smart football, win the turnovers and stuff like that. Just kind of like keep it simple because obviously, like Zach was saying, Belichick, phenomenal coach. He's going to know what he's doing coming in with regardless of who he's got out there. So it's just kind of coming in, playing the game, trying to, you don't need to go for long first downs, just maybe like short gains, get your way down the field. It doesn't need to be the big spectacular plays, just, playing good, solid football and not hitting that, second half lull that we saw against the Buccaneers. Just kind of find momentum, keep it going. If something happens, don't let the momentum swing. Make sure you can get it back, just keeping that mental side of the game. And I mean, there's so many little factors that I feel like have been they've been shooting themselves in the foot almost with those things, but just finding ways to like stay in the game, even when things go wrong, because they're not going to play a perfect game. So I think as long as they don't get down after, a mistake is made, that's going to be huge against a Belichick team.
You're so right, Queen.
There you go. Slay. No, but the big thing for me, and I probably legitimately say it every week on the show, is just keep running it. And again, I love Aaron Rodgers more than most people should probably love anyone. But if there is that lull in the offense, run it. Get Aaron Jones involved. Get AJ Dillon involved. Maybe do a jet sweep, whatever it is. But getting the ball in specifically Aaron Jones' hands is a game-changing thing to do. Like, that's the bottom line. He needs to touch between Jones and Dillon. We've all said it. The baseline should be 30 touches a game, whether it's carries, receptions, whatever. But I think Aaron Jones should be on the higher end of that 30. Again, nothing against Dillon. I just think Jones is a game changer. And when the Packers seem to be really stalling, it's like first down throw, incomplete, second down run for 2 yards, 3rd and 8, short completion or incomplete, boom, punt. Okay. Like, just run the ball. You can run the ball on first down. And even though it's what's generally expected, when you have Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon, if they go that even just 3 yards on first down completely changes your series from 2nd and 7 to 2nd and 10 is a massive difference in my mind. So for me, it'll be for the Patriots game and every game after, focus on running the ball, getting it to Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon as much as possible. That's just my key to winning basically any game.
Yeah, and Aaron Rodgers even said today, because, a lot of times people look at the excuse of like, oh, so-and-so's team was loading the box, so they can't run the ball however many times. Aaron Rodgers even said today, like, they have, like, that doesn't deter them. They have plays designed to attack.
Yeah, and you bring in extra blockers and
and having guys pull. Like, they have plays designed for that kind of thing, so that's never really an excuse.
Yeah, so for you guys, let's just get to some score predictions here, because it's gonna be a fun game.
I don't know, Eli. Are you gonna say your score and then steal my score and say that it was your score?
Jen, did I ever tell you the explanation, or did I not bother? Because I know I typed it out and then I thought it would sound like an excuse.
There's no explanation. Zach, are you aware of what happened?
How he went on Pack Day and he stole your prediction?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I literally had to like prove that I said it, not him.
So what happened was,
he said the score that I picked.
Yeah, but Jen, see, what happened was the day before, on Thursday, the day before we recorded for Pack a Day, here's a rare plug of mine. I was on the radio.
Okay, do you hear it?
Talking about plugs again.
Well, that time I obviously did it on purpose, but I was on the radio.
The third time, by the way.
Yeah, I've been talking a lot about my rare plugs, but I was on the radio, and I don't know why that's the score, Jenna. I said your score. That's when I said 23-21. So I stole it twice.
On public radio.
So on the radio, I stole your score, and then because I remembered the radio more recently than open book, when we did Pack a Day, I was like, oh, it's for sure 23-21. Hey, my brain, Zach, you can't blame me. I've got things going on in my brain. But, in the brain and the rare, it's all over the place. But that's why I stole your score. I didn't mean to. Take it back. But the margin of victory, Jen, you got that right, too. Well, I got it right. You stole it, but you know what I mean.
Whatever.
Please, give us your score. I want you to give us your score first. I'm not going to steal it, baby.
He's lying.
I think that Packers offense has a little fun at home and the defense stays hot. I'm going to say 28-20 win.
I don't know. I guess when you said the offense having fun and the defense staying hot, I was expecting a larger margin of victory.
An 8-point win kind of seems like a big victory coming off of that game.
Look, I'll take a 1-point win. But Zach, how about you? What do you?
Eli's probably gonna be like Mason Crosby game winner.
Yeah, it's going to be 25-20, and then I'm going to do Mason Crosby game winner to do 28-20. But Zach, go ahead.
I think the offense just fucking explodes. I think they have their best game in years since 2014. I think they win 24-17.
You're such a dick.
Dude.
I was waiting for him to be like solid 13 points.
By the way,
9 points, only Mason Crosby scores.
I was waiting for someone to bring this up, and you're going to see it on Twitter, and you're going to see it during the game probably.
You're not playing in New England, so that won't happen.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, fine. So you got 28-20, and Zach, you won 24-17.
Yes.
Both you guys, you have no faith. I'm not even sure if you're Packer fans at all.
We both picked them to win.
I'm gonna go.
Right, if there's not a 40-point margin, then you must be
go 31-17 Packers, and I'm pretty
31-17 Packers. Aaron Rodgers throws fucking 5 touchdowns.
No, I actually think Rodgers will throw 2 touchdowns, and then we'll run for 2 touchdowns. Mason will knock in, a 40-something yarder, and we'll have a couple turnovers on defense. But I would like Rodgers to throw 4 touchdowns. I have him on my fantasy team, so yeah. There you have it.
Well,
all 3 of us.
Clearly, fantasy isn't rolling your way right now.
Okay, Zach, we already did this. I gave you your congratulations.
Well, that's Zach's here. He can say it.
Yeah,
I'll do it again.
I basically wiped the floor with Eli this past week. So Thank you.
Yeah. Zach, I'm proud of you. You remind me of a younger me, and that's an exciting
part. Oh my gosh, their dog.
Yes, she's right.
Oh, and Jen, your face totally froze while you were talking about the dog, and it freaked me out.
She's just sprawled out right now in front of me.
I see a paw waving.
Oh no! Yeah, perfect. You're here. I got to introduce you and everyone else.
She's so cute.
There you go.
Dogs are cool.
I love her.
I got myself a little drink butler. He holds all my glasses, so I have my drinks ready at all times.
That's pretty.
Zach's like, I have a dog, so now I have to flex my butler.
Because Jen, remember I forgot to show him when he came.
That is true.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago, because whatever, he missed things are the worst. But great guy. Okay, so
this is all I wanted. I just wanted to be able to see the dog today. Everything's better in my life now.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all you cared for tonight. Okay.
Yeah.
I told you it's been a rough week. I just wanted to see a dog.
Just wanted to see a dog. I feel like you could just go get yourself a dog. That's an option.
There you go.
You just go. Oh, it's so cute.
Tosca? What?
What's the score prediction from
Tosca?
Yeah.
All right, Tosca, come here. Tell everyone your score. No, over here, Tosca, come here. Okay. So you're gonna tell them all, Tosca, over here. You're gonna tell everyone your score prediction. Okay? She's very, very shy, apparently.
Is she nervous about the game?
What? Oh, she said Packers 42-0. So she's more of a fan than you guys.
Wow.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I can actually see that happening. If we win 42-0, I will do next week's show in the nude.
No, okay, let's not do that.
Now I'm not rooting for a 42-0 win.
It's so
Good.
weird. I didn't plan for my trip to be like here in New England on the week they're playing the fucking
Oh,
I was
I
gonna
didn't
say,
think
I
about that.
mean,
I
I'm
didn't
surprised.
even believe that.
You're
No,
gonna
I'm
get
gonna pick a-
shellacked if you go to like a sports bar. Don't do that.
I am gonna go to. We're probably gonna go to a bar and watch the game. So
Nice, awesome.
Did you bring any Packers gear?
Yeah, be aggressive. Get in the Patriots fans' face, please, for all of us. They
I will.
deserve
I'm gonna let them know, like, hey, you're gonna go back to 42 years of irrelevance.
Exactly.
Your little run was over.
It's over. It's over. Exactly. I like the sound of that. I like the sound of the Packers beating the Bucks, and I am looking forward to them beating the Patriots this Sunday. I believe it is at 3:25 Lambeau Field.
Yeah.
Everyone, thank you for tuning in. As always, we will see you next week. Go Pack, go!
What you think, Fred? All right.
Fred.
Like, dude, you're an idiot.
I'm doing very well, Jen. It's just gonna be me and you, or Eli and Zach gonna pop in.
Yeah, they'll talk every once in a while. But
Every now and then we'll kind of.
he was already right away.
It kind of well, we're used to you attacking us, so.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Look at
Let's just put it this way. Who do you see as the quarterback week 1?